Right, so we're trying to invent the Power Armor Mark II. In the meantime, we want to make ourselves the stuff we need for artillery. So, the artillery train, surprisingly, doesn't require artillery. It does require, like, lots of engines and stuff like that. Artillery turrets, steel gears, concrete. Yeah, we can do all that. Now, what does it shoot? We've got rockets. No. Artillery shells. We need explosives, explosive cannon shells, and radars. Well, explosives and radars are already available in the network, so we just need to make explosive cannon shells. So I think we go up here at the end and we make some of these. We want some artillery turrets, I think, positioned around the base, because they will automatically shoot at enemies that get too close. You do have to be careful though, because when artilleries destroy an enemy base, all of the enemy who are at that base run towards it. So you want to be sort of ready to defend yourself. So can we fit this stuff we need to do in here? Right, let us start with artillery shells, which means we've got to start with explosive cannon shells. 4 explosive cannon shells, 15-second crafting time, 8-second crafting time. So this is just steel, plastic, and explosives. Well, steel and plastic we can get from here. So let's, in fact, there's steel and plastic there. Oh no, but I don't want to deprive that of its stuff, unfortunately, because that's low density structures, which are quite important for various things. So let's try and make 4 things making this. Steel, plastic, not much, and then some explosives. Right. I'll run the steel and the plastic there. Alright, so that's got it the steel and plastic that it needs, but obviously it needs explosives. But luckily, I have explosives being made because I needed cliff explosives, and I do have them going into a box. So I am just going to take from this supply. So I've got a belt set up there. If I get a long-handled inserter here and put a requester chest here and just ask this to keep a stack of explosives. Well, we'll tell it to keep two stacks of explosives. And then we just need some red-handled inserters so these guys can grab it. Right, so there should be robots heading on over. Nope, I got to do that thing, because this is one of those things where I need to actually say, you can request from a buffer chest. You don't want that on by default, because it can mess everything up. But in this case, this is something I actually want, so you're going to do that. Right, so you guys are... Oh, did not mean to do that. You get 1 explosive cannon shell every 8 seconds. And there we're going to get an artillery shell every 15 seconds. So I think I am just going to output onto a belt in a downwards direction, and we'll get another... How many artillery machines can this cope with? I think this can sort of cope with twice as many. So maybe we should go up. And we will do... We'll start with 4. But we'll go in an upwards direction in case in future we want to do more. You guys are going to make artillery shells. I may want to move you further out. In 15 seconds you also want explosives. Interesting. 4 explosive cannon shells for each of you, plus a radar. So actually, this is only enough to support two of these guys. Interesting. If I was to output in the opposite direction from this, it could go on a belt here. Let's move these out, because I'm starting to get an idea. Okay, no, it's going to be the far side of that belt, isn't it? You also need explosives and radar, and then these cannon shells. Well, okay, I'll put another box here with an inserter here, and your job is to have radars. Give me a stack of radars, request from buffer chests. Okay. Well, finally destroyed the radar there, which means they've probably chewed through all the gun turrets. So these guys are going to start heading towards me. I'm surprised they're not heading towards copper mining, to be honest with you. Copper mining is relatively well defended. I don't like how it leaves the back gate open. Right, so yes, so you're going to go get radars. A medium pole here. And grab the cannon shells like that. And we do want to go downwards on this at the moment, don't we? There we go. Right. Are we able to actually manufacture? Not yet, because I have forgotten to do this. Right, so that's going to get us cannon shells. Artillery shells, I mean. Although not many. Well, we just might have to, you know, hope this is one of those occasions where, over time, you sort of end up with enough. Right, you are going to go into a buffer chest. Quest, go in there. Red wire. I keep pressing completely the wrong things. Obviously, if there's any artillery shells bombing about the place, pun intended, then I want you to do that. You guys are going to output there. Power. And the condition is if there are less than 100, then I want to do that. Right, so this is making 4 a minute. That might not be enough. Let's scale up a bit, shall we? No, this does go up. So let's copy. to fill in this. Right, we want twice the number of this as well. Lots more power. Alright, we are just out of explosives now. So I need to upgrade my explosives. This was bound to happen. I'm going to have to give this one a bit of a think. Okay, this has increased explosive production by quite a bit. We now have 2 machines making sulfur, 4 machines making explosives. The explosives come on around here. They still get fed into the cliff explosives when necessary, but most of them are going to end up in this box. And this arm is set to, let's say we want at least 200 in there now, shall we? So we're a little bit prepared for demand. Right, so let's follow the robots. So they're running over here. And we will see whether this is now able to function a little better at the current production. Right, there's obviously enough explosives for these guys. Or maybe not. They all appear to be being grabbed by the guys at the end. Ah! This is a thing you can get. The yellows are not fast enough to grab resources off a red belt. So you want to make sure that even if you don't need it for the speed, you use blues on stuff like this. Now these lower ones are able to grab the explosives before they disappear. I mean, it means that the ones up here might run out of the explosives, but it won't be because the resources are just whizzing by far too quickly. Okay, so these things don't stack, so maybe I don't want that many anyway. What about the actual artillery turrets? I mean, obviously we just need a single machine making these, and it's lots of steel plate, gear wheels, circuits, and concrete. Right, well, concrete is something else we do have in a box at the moment. Oh, what's going on here? I think we were under attack here. Okay, well, this is what we are working on. Right, let me get artillery turrets set up. Right, I think I've got all the ingredients on that set up. Hopefully there's concrete coming in this chest. Let me just actually give it a swinging arm. There we go. I also just told it to put red chips in there if it finds any, which it seems it has, which is good because it's not getting too many red chips via the pipe. And then we're going to end up, of course, with a buffer chest for its output. Yellow, red wire. If there happens to be any artillery floating around the base, it's unlikely, but it might happen, then I want that. And you are to swing as long as we've got less than 20. Wow, artillery turrets. What do they stack to? They stack to 10. So yeah, 20. Right, so we're trying to build up the concrete we need. Steel. Ah, I forgot to tell it to swing the steel in. There we go. Right, the other thing I need is an artillery remote. Now the artillery will automatically shoot within a set range, the remote lets you manually target stuff that's further away. So looks like I've got the stuff I need to make that. Or I could do. Oh no, I've got a radar on me, which is why it's saying I've got the copper and the iron. But I don't have a blue chip, so let me turn off my logistics, because otherwise the robots are going to come along and steal it off me almost immediately. Grab a blue chip and make ourselves one artillery remote, which we do want somewhere on our hotbar. Right. Oh, okay, we've got actual damage coming in now. Military. Where's my military book? Right. Please. Actually, I don't want to do that. Control Z. Put this there. And there. Unfortunately, this thing is outranged my other gun turrets. Once it destroys that, though, I suspect it's going to run in closer. Here comes the cavalry. Luckily, one of them got power, because he's now dead. The lighted big electric poles have come from further away. That is actually a problem. I suppose what I could do is put a requester chest down next to the laser turrets. I'm actually going to do that. I'm going to put a requester chest here. And you want big lighted electric poles and request from buffer chests. Just so they're some a bit, the same range away as that. However, we should now have some turrets. Let me get rid of the fish. We have a turret. We have one turret. Yeah, 40-second crafting time. And takes a lot of resources. So let's grab some bullets. Actually, no, we want this thing to be like automatically reloaded. So where do we think would be best? I mean, we were just being attacked. We were just being attacked here, weren't we? So where did those guys come from? This is one problem, is my base keeps replacing these gun turrets, but it's not actually loading them. I didn't mean to leave map mode. So where do we think this attack came in from? Could be from over here. It could be from up there. Alright. We want to be careful. Let's sort of go for like hardened military thing. Something we can plonk down anywhere within our base that will give us an artillery gun that is relatively well defended. Alright, so we're going to start with you and you. That's to provide power for everything. Then we're going to want an artillery gun behind everything, because they've got so much range. And we're going to have a requester chest whose job it is to keep that guy loaded. I'm not going to set it up yet. We use a fast inserter on this. And we'll put another one of these guys in, like so. Then there's going to be laser turrets as part of this defense. I'm going to flank it with laser turrets. We can't quite fill in properly. Um, as I said, because when these things destroy the enemy just come charging at you. Okay, and then we're going to put walls around this. Probably double thick walls. I want something I can plonk down in the middle of the wild. And it will be relatively well defended. We can bring this in further. There we go, that's quite a nicely defended bunker. This one is powered and it is fully built, so if we tell this thing, get yourself 10 artillery shells. Tick. This is within our logistics network. This thing currently says it's empty. But that's where the robots will come in. And the idea is that I can plonk these around the edges of my base, and then we can see how much damage can we do. I'm a little nervous. So I am going to boost some backup laser turrets. Of course, if we've got the power for all these laser turrets, this is the other problem, of course, is our power is not being good. Request from buffer chests. I've got to do that. Okay, so this will be the end of the episode. Let's see what happens. Here they come. Alright, so this thing it might auto-fire, or it might not. It depends if there's a base within range. Right, it's not auto-firing. Turn off pollution. Okay, I want to see... Okay, so it doesn't show a range. Well, actually, yes, it does. There you go. You can see this red circle all the way out here. This turret will automatically fire on any enemy base within that range. But if I pick up this artillery remote, allows firing artillery manually from the world map. Do you see how this even bigger red circle has just appeared? That is the range of this one turret. So, we are going to tell it to fire out here. Now, we can't see, but each artillery shell, if you remember, has radar in it. So we get temporary vision. Now, these guys are going to muster and then come for me. See, there's like a red circle has appeared around where I've told it to shoot. Okay, and I wasted a couple of shells there. I'll have to remember that I can go in between. So that base is dead now. There's some worms left, but you see that those biters are running at me now. Right. Let's throw a couple out here and see what we get. Oh, okay. I thought that was a base. Turns out it wasn't. Okay. Note to self, just do one at a time. And these guys are now approaching our defences. So let's put that down a second. Here they come. They're crawling this way. They're moving slow until they spot us. And hopefully the power will last. Okay, that's not bad. Right. How many artillery shells? This thing has 5 artillery shells. There's a number in the box. In fact, there's 10 in the box. So I think at the moment we're keeping up. Right. Back to the remote control. So I'll ignore little red dots, but I can start to hammer these bases. Should sort of go in between things more. Because it's got a bit of a range to it. We are the baddies in this game. We really are. I didn't click the front that often, did I? Yeah, no, these things definitely have a bigger range than I'm giving them credit for. Right, so that's that base destroyed. I'll have to be careful if I start destroying ones in other directions, because they might just run into my other defences. Or places where I have less defences. Right, let's... Here they come. There we go. Right, power is doing okay, although our accumulators are going down a bit because it's night time now. But we are able to build a little bit of excess power right now because we're not researching. Oh, here comes a second wave. Right. Okay, that was just the alert saying these turrets are under attack. Right, so let's go 1, 2, 3, 4. Incidentally, this is actually a good way of exploring the map as well, because these shells will reveal terrain as they go. Okay, and that was just a worm in the background. So these will, as I said, so without the remote in hand, these things will auto-fire on any base they see within this range. And with the remote, well, I can certainly make things a lot safer for myself. Just engage with turrets. There's no warnings that we're taking damage. Will this be the end of this base? I think these two here might survive. So we'll just go boom and boom. Right, so that's that one coming for me. I don't think I should target that one until I've got one of these hardened turrets in place. Like maybe I'll put a turret over here. Ooh, look at this. These guys are actually circling around. Okay, okay, we've got some walled turrets and lasers here, so I think we'll be okay. Alright, there's a big base up here. Probably gonna need one back there. So as far as I can tell, the red X's stay there until it fires, and then they vanish. I think I had one heading over here. Yeah, so it's these three. 1, 2, and 3. Alright, so I think that's the end of the episode. This is one artillery. Okay, so they're expensive, but you don't need that many. Speaking of which, I'm going to make sure that I don't make that many. I had no idea the range on these things was this high. I mean, what have I got this set to make? 20? No, 10. 10 of these would be more than enough. We've already got 12. We already have 12. And a box full of ammo. With it building up on the thing. So I can plonk these down around my base, and I'll do the shooting. I'll probably do most of the shooting off camera. I mean, once you've seen one poor innocent enemy base be obliterated by these things, then you've seen them all. It's useful me being here because it means they get an instant repair. Oh, that poor one that was, you know, just at the end, all on his own. Oh. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.